right, we're gonna answer some of these questions from our Twitter followers. The first one, I think this is a good question. The percentage of defensive players who have smarts and not just ability.
That's the question.
That's the question. So the percentage part is going to be tough, but I'm gonna ask you, D-Buck. 11. You got 11 guys on the field.
Yeah.
On the defense, on the side of 11 guys on the defense side of the ball. Give me the number of guys on the side of the ball that has the smarts, and then you give me the guys that know football, but mainly is about ability.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. So I think it's just levels. It's levels really, because it's a certain football one-on-one stuff that everybody pretty much knows when you want to be in that room. But then as you get older, you just kind of learn more things. You stack it on, probably prepare. I would say guys who kind of are at that level really can get other guys lined up and stuff like that. It's probably you got 2 or 3 of those guys on the defense. And if you got any more of that, that's probably a really, really good defense. So I think of like that San Francisco defense with Bowman and Willis, like that whole core, like that was a group. That Denver defense, Talib and Chris Harris, T.J. Ward, all the boys. The Legion of Boom. Like I feel like those guys, it was like 7, 8 guys who like were on that top level, and that's why they click and play like that. So I would say on average, you're probably gonna get 2 or 3 guys that really know, really, really know what's going on, and then everybody else is kind of their job is to get everybody else on the same page.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that.
What you feel?
I kind of agree with that. I would typically say, like you said, 2 to 3 guys where you can have a guy maybe on each level. Safety. Even corners, linebacker, and then on the D line. Typically, I would hope it was one of my safeties, my linebacker who's getting the front situated, and one of my, like you said, one of my guys up front. And then, like you said, if you get lucky, you might have, like you said, like Pete Willis, Bowman, or whatever, the Legion of Boom, where you have all, a number of guys that can run the defense. So I'm definitely with you on that. And that was a good question, because a lot of times you do have players where, look, man, just tell him where to go, tell him what he has to do, and leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? And you have players like that. So definitely a great question.
Yeah, for sure. So if I had to pick, just pick back on what you were saying, if I had to say, all right, you got 3 guys on your team who gonna know in your defense, I would want, like you said, a safety, because they're communicating to both the corners and linebackers. The linebacker that's always on the field, the 3-down linebacker, usually the Mike linebacker middle. He actually gets the call from the D coordinator and the mic in the helmet. So I want him to know what the hell is going on, because sometimes those mics go out and we got to go
for sure.
So sometimes we got a call that's it's going to be based off a closed call, or maybe it'll be based off where it is tight end. Like we don't like, so he got to know all the moving parts. And then like you said, somebody up front, like Vince Wilfork was one of the smartest players I ever played with. Like he will watch film and he'll bring us in there on like a Wednesday or Thursday and be like, all right, look, I got to run past tail this week. Like, so basically if I'm in this stance and I put this up like this, it's a run, expect run. Or expect pass. So like when you got guys like that, those are big difference makers, man. But that's a great question.
Yeah, great question. I got another one for you. It's a pretty good question. Where is it? So are DBs in zone taught to drop beyond the first down line or right on it on third down?
You want to take it first, or?
Yeah, I'll take it. So obviously this is like a situational situation. On third down, you definitely want to drop to the sticks. You definitely want to drop to the sticks. You don't want to drop beyond that, because we all know in the league, a pitch and catch, fall forward, that's a first down.
Yeah. Obviously, and the sticks is the first down marker.
Yeah, first down marker.
That's what we call it. We call it sticks.
Call it the sticks, where that offense has to get to get a first down. On first on first down in zone, what I would teach my DBs and what I've been taught is obviously in zone, everybody eyes is on the quarterback. Everybody eyes on the quarterback. Everybody who's dropping should see the same thing. So not a lot of times we were taught that you get in your drop when that quarterback set, you should set.
You say, yeah.
And so that could be if it's a deeper drop by the quarterback, you might be a little deeper. If it's a 3-step drop, obviously we know the ball is coming out quick, so you need to set up quicker. So in that instance, like I said, in DBs, when you're looking at the quarterback, when the quarterback stops to set up to throw the ball, that's when the DBs should set up.
Yeah, I mean, you knocked that one out. I guess the only thing I add on is in zone defense, like we have like landmarks, pretty much landmarks like, hey, 10 to 12 yards, outside the hash or in between 2 and 3 or whatever your landmark is in that coverage. You want to get to that landmark and then you want to settle and have your eyes on that quarterback because most zone defenses, you want to I know we were taught in New England, we had a no cover zone basic. So like Twan said, on 1st and 10, we're dropping back like no cover 5 and under. We're not covering that because a lot of offense put something in front of guys in zones, and they want to hit the team that's behind them. So they want to put a little hitch route in front of you and throw the 15, 16-yard dig route behind you. So it's important that you get your depth, and then once the ball come out, since everybody is looking at the quarterback, everybody rallies and make that tackle. That's why San Fran was one of the best teams. I think they were the best pass defense last year because everybody was on the same page with that scheme. Send 4, drop 7. When that ball comes out, everybody knows where they're supposed to be and they're rallying to it and tackling well. So that's how you operate in a great zone defense.
Mm-hmm. 2 more questions. I'm gonna combine these. So the first part is it still possible to cornerback blitz? And then the second part of that is continuity in the secondary more important than ability. So is it still possible to send a cornerback on a blitz, and then continuity in the secondary more important than ability?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you can definitely send cornerback blitzes. You don't see them as much. I think, quarterbacks just adjust and you got built-in hot routes, but you send that cornerback, obviously somebody got to be out there to guard them. And the corners are your best cover guys. So if you blitzing them, you're putting in a lesser coverage guy on probably a better athlete. So it's dangerous, but you can definitely do it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as my take on the continuity on the back end, I think that's more important than ability. If you you look at that Seattle lead you to boom. You had and not a draft positions or everything, but you had a 5th rounder, I believe, in Richard Sherman. I think a 5th rounder with Cam, and 1st rounder with Earl, and you had Maxwell and Browner. I think Browner was an undrafted free agent, so they weren't like elite ability guys. But when you got them on the field together and everybody clicking on the same page, man, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Now I'm with you. I think that continuity, man, that speaks volume. Where, like you said, you can have a guy who, he's not a Dion, he's not a Pat P, where he can just lock somebody down. But the part of the game where he's going to be where he's at. You don't have to worry about him. He understands the game plan as far as communication. The communication is there across the board. You know where they're going to be at. So if you can have that,
important, man.
Yeah, it's so important. If you can have that across the board, man, with the 4 or 5 guys. If you say you bring a nickel in. And everybody's on the same page. Everybody know what they need to do. Everybody know what the game plan is, who we're trying to take out, or whatever the case may be. If you can have that, man, you're great. If you can have a guy there who has all the ability in the world, but doesn't understand the game. Okay, this is what we're trying to do. This is why the D coordinator is making this call. That could. The ability is
making adjustments when they come to be on the same page and making adjustments. Hey, Twan, let's play. Let's go back and play this. How we played it back in week 6. Remember how we did that? Yeah, boom. Yeah. Like that's in the heat of the moment, like on the sideline or in the middle of a drive, maybe. So that's so important because football is a team game, the ultimate team game, and I can do my job much better if I can trust the guy next to me to be doing his job. And if I know what he's doing, I know cover 2. If I'm a nickel and I got a corner, I know that corner is going to come saw that outside leg off. so I can haul ass and go full speed and saw the inside leg off. And we playing on the string. So what Coach Hammer used to call it, the June Taylor
The
dances.
June Taylor dances. Yeah. Hammer, man. We gotta get Ham on here one day, man.
Gotta get Ham on here, man.
Yeah, gotta get Ham on here. Hey, look, right. So I want to kind of talk about, we talking about, questions as far as DB wise. If you don't know D Buck, man, he has his Everything DB show, man, and he does a great job breaking down different coverages and just really giving it to you in layman's terms as far as fans, just to kind of understand, what the concepts of each coverage is and what it entails. So you posted something last night about two-man. And, you kind of call that cover 5. And two-man, and, you kind of mentioned, and then, obviously playing, I know nickelbacks, they hate this coverage. Explain why the nickels hate this coverage.
All right, so two-man, it sounds great and it looks great in theory and on paper, right? You play underneath, you don't really have to worry about the deep ball. And ideally, you want to be between the receiver and the quarterback. Like, so if he's running a 15-yard out route as a cornerback, you want to be underneath it, like at about 13 and a half, 14 yards and try to make the play. But the predicament that you're in as a nickel is, number one, if you get beat across your face to the inside, like you have no help because everybody else is playing man to coverage. The middle of the field is wide open underneath. So you got no help. Same thing for the cornerback. But the other thing with us is we're responsible for the middle read route, which is if you got split safeties, you got 2 high safeties, like basically cover 2 safeties, where receivers convert their deep routes is right in between those guys. So if we're in our mind, we're playing 2-man, so we're aggressive underneath, but at the same time, we're responsible for that route with no deep help over the top. That puts us in a really bad spot. So the good nickels, they gotta adjust and they gotta know exactly what this offense like to run. Should I back off a little bit? Play high shoulder until I declare the other route. Did I just undercut it once it breaks? But it definitely puts you in a tough spot as a nickel, man. So we hate it. I know playing safety. I loved it a lot more playing safety. It was a lot less stressful.
A lot less stressful, man. So you back there, like you said, cover 2, that shell. You reading that quarterback, and for me, it's like if I get a good a good nickel, I'm not asking you to make that play. All I'm asking you to do is just be underneath and make that quarterback throw the ball higher, so it'll give me more time to get there. So, yeah, but I definitely every meet room that I was ever in, the nickel, they hate that coverage.
Yeah, man, that's a tough one on the nickel, man. You got some variations too on the video I put it up. They actually play trap, so on the trap variation, that's when, because a very popular route against 2-man is the slot receiver running an outbreaker. And then the number 1 receiver, the widest receiver, just doing a must outside release, just running up the field, clearing out the space. So what Detroit and Darius Slay did was they call a trap. And it's basically once that corner gets that outside release, he peeks in at the number 2 receiver with the nickel's guard, and the nickel kind of passes it to him. And a lot of times the quarterback never sees him come off and make that play. So that's what happened in that play. So that's kind of the game within the game, and that's really the game we can be all right now. But that's why we hate it, man. That's a scary call coming in.
It is, and like I said, the D coordinator, they can help you out too, as far as when they're calling it. Don't call that coverage and in an obvious situation, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of mentioned on the film as well as not sure how long we're gonna see that coverage just with the type of quarterbacks that's in the game. Whereas like you said on the film, where all the secondary backs are turned. The corners, the nickels, even your linebackers, just depending on who they're guarding, your backs are turned as well. So if you have a very mobile quarterback, he can get out of there, and your next probably the closest people that's going to be able to see him and get him is your 2 safeties who's 15 yards deep. So,
yeah, it actually happened to us when we played the Packers. And Aaron Rodgers, kind of that quarterback that you always almost forget can scramble. And we played a rep of 2-man, and the veteran quarterbacks, they know it as soon as they see it. They know once they see all the backs turn. And he took off for like 20 yards. And, he was 16 yards down the field before anybody in the back end even knew he just took off running. So tough coverage, man. You won't see much of it going forward, I don't think.
But man,
yeah,
like
man,
I said,
this might
all
have
the
to be a
listeners,
whole nother segment. The questions,
whole nother segment. Yeah. But like again, like we said, man, Everything DB show, man. Y'all go check that out, man. He's dropping some gems on there.
YouTube, IG, all that. Yep. So this is episode 9, man. Plus the bonus questions. So this might be like a bonus episode or something. We went probably about 15, 20 minutes on the questions.
Probably
good, very good questions though.
Nah, for sure. So hope y'all enjoyed this episode, man. Y'all catch us next week. We at it again. I may be D-Butt.
DB.
The Man Pod. We out.